I know I have a poor connection at the moment, so bear with me as we try to figure this out. If anyone is there, could you just tell me if you can actually hear what, I don't know, get a hold of myself. Here we go. If I join my own live stream, I should be able to, yeah, there we go. Hang on, let's pause that. Yeah, I should be able to take a look. All right, wow, lots and lots of, lots and lots of messages. Hey guys, I guess we're live. I'm drinking a Harbin beer over here, and I'm going to try and answer as many questions as I can. I just, first of all, want to say thank you for tuning in. This is a little earlier than I thought, but I'm home now, and I wanted to have a beer and say hi to all you guys. Right. Hey, I see there's people from all over the world here. Portugal, Durban. That's fantastic. Okay. What is this nonsense? What is how does super chat even work? I see there's some like red stuff popping up here. By the way, guys, I am doing this just so that I can chat to you guys. All right. And just fill you in on a whole bunch of interesting things that have been happening. This is a live stream. I will have it available unlisted afterwards, and I'll post a link on my Facebook and stuff, but it's not going to stay up. Hey there from Cape Town and all that. All right, let's get started. I'm going to try and answer some of these questions. I see a whole bunch popping up here. First question I saw there that just popped up was, am I named after Winston Churchill? And the answer to that question is yes. My parents obviously liked Winston Churchill very much. I think it was my dad who decided to call me that. And it's a fairly uncommon name where I'm from anyway. But it's actually a very common name in the UK. But usually not white dudes. Usually it's Winston will kind of be the name a black dude will have, which is kind of cool. I like that. Someone says say hello to me 10 million times. Okay, hi. Cool. Right. Oh, someone was asking, where is Seamilk? Seamilk is on holiday with his wife at the moment. So there we go. Right. Cool. Now, how am I supposed to answer questions if they're popping by 10 million miles a minute? I guess just give me a second. I'm going to look on my computer screen here. I'm going to scroll through and try to answer some questions. And then I might just do some talking at you, because I got a lot of things to talk about, guys. There's been quite a few interesting changes recently. All right, so let's take a look. Hey, Daniel from New Zealand, you're drinking beer too? Awesome. You guys talking about rugby. Oh yeah, that's something I'm just going to quickly go over here. Is somebody did mention to me that, oh, there's rugby on. Sorry to disappoint any of you rugby fans out there, but I really don't like sport. It's not my thing. I was always the odd man out. You know, when it comes to things like rugby and cricket and tennis and football and all that kind of stuff, I really couldn't care, to be honest. It's really not my thing. Doesn't mean that I don't enjoy going with friends who want to watch it and having a beer and just kind of relaxing. I don't mind that, but I don't even know how the scores work and stuff. It's never really, been a thing. Ooh, I've just got, what is that? Now this is the first time I've done a live stream like this. And okay, there we go. I see people are like saying super chat works like this. That's Outlander, thank you. And Tokyo Sam, or TKyo Sam, says stay awesome, hurry up and come to Japan. I will, don't worry. I've got plans to be there, if not later this year, definitely next year. It's very difficult for me to get a visa, and this, I'm just going to tell you guys this, it's quite ridiculous, right? So because I'm South African, to get a visa to go to Japan, I need a visa. It requires quite a lot of paperwork, and all sorts of nonsense, like I have to prove bank statements, and I have to have like a letterhead from my company to say why I'm going there. I need a full itinerary. There's a whole list of things. It's like a mountain of paperwork. But I'm at a weird kind of a situation because I don't work for anyone right now, right? I do YouTube full time. So I tried to apply to go to Japan, you know, during Hanami. Again, this time TKO Sam actually invited me, but I couldn't go because the Japanese consulate needed proof from my employer to say that I have a job and I'm coming back. And I don't have an employer, so I couldn't give proof. So they were like, sorry, we can't give you a visa. So it was actually absolutely ridiculous. But I'm working my way around that. I'll be there soon. All right, cool. All right, what else we got going on here? We got from Derek McFadden. Is that how you say it? Thank you very much, mate. I'm very much in appreciation that you like my videos. Thank you very much. Wow, guys, this is rather overwhelming. It's this Yoren Shuo Zhongwen Mei, ha ha ha. Someone in Chinese just posted there. No, you'll probably notice that there aren't many Chinese comments on my videos these days, and that's because I tend to delete most of them. And there's a reason for that, because most of them are quite nasty. So, you know, that's just not the way I like to do things. Wow, you guys are fantastic. This is overwhelming. So I want to fill you in on a couple of things that are happening. First of all, I want to tell you all about conquering northern China. I'm sure some of you guys are interested in conquering northern China. So I'll go over that briefly. We currently are expecting it to be released probably late October. That's what I'm guessing at the moment, so fairly soon. Late October, early November. And we're going to have a premiere tour where we go all around. Let's see. Photospheres with the drones. That's from Rebo Rotors. Man, drones are an interesting story here, you know. They're cracking down a lot, and it's quite difficult to fly drones, at least in software. It's kind of weird. DJI has implemented all sorts of no-fly zones and all sorts of restrictions, and it's kind of difficult to fly, but I've got my ways around all this nonsense, and I'll be getting more and more drone stuff. It's kind of a mission of mine. Every single week I want to go out and get some nice night footage or day footage, whatever, and you know, that's just what it's all about. Anyway, getting all these questions, let's get back to conquering northern China. We're actually trying to see if we can get it on Netflix. It's going to be on Vimeo, of course, like the last one was. And all the Kickstarter backers, of course, get it for free. That's part of the, you know, package if you back that amount. So you'll be getting yours before anyone else, before it's released. Then, of course, Vimeo will be the easiest way to get it first. And then we're going to basically try and get our show onto Netflix and a couple of other things. Amazon Prime, which we have Conquering Southern China on, believe it or not, is actually really ridiculous. Like, they don't pay much. They pay like a couple of cents, maybe like a half a cent per view or something. So we don't actually make any profit off of that. But we wanted to get it out to as many people as possible. So that's why we put it on Amazon Prime, was just so that, you know, people that couldn't get it on Vimeo could actually take a look. All right, now let's see what's going on here. Please consider making in real life live streams in Shenzhen. This comes from Abra Sumente, I guess. Now, guys, I'd love to do this. This would be amazing. If I could, I don't know if you've seen my latest video where I went to that, you know, sort of old urban village. I'd love to set up a live stream in the middle of that place. But the problem is VPNs, right? Especially off your phone. They don't work very well here in China. And of course, they're actively being blocked. So if I try to live stream from a place like that, it's just not going to work very well. But I do want to go out there and try and get more sort of time lapses. And I was thinking about going and exploring these things a little more. Someone says, have you been to Xi'an? Yes, I've been to Xi'an. I don't know if I have videos about that, but I went to Xi'an, gee, about 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. Somewhere a very long time ago, and Xi'an is a very nice place, actually. I would say some of the best food I've ever had in China was in Xi'an, and that's because they've got all the Muslim food. They've got sort of kebabs and what's called a ro jiao mo. It's like a hamburger type thing, all sorts of cool stuff. And you know, they've got the ancient wall. Xi'an actually used to be the capital of China at some point, so it's got an ancient wall that surrounds it that you can go walk on and all that. Let's take a look what's going on here. I'm just scrolling through. If I see a question that pops up, I'll answer it. Let's see. Okay, I'm way behind. I am checking all the super chats. By the way, guys, I do want to make something clear. I'm not doing this live stream to make money, and everybody who's giving me a super chat here, I seriously appreciate it. Thank you very much. It is easy for me to actually see what it is, but I want to try and answer as many people's questions as possible, so I'm going to try my best to get through it all. Julio says, big shout out from London. Great videos. My kids, Emilio 10 and Lola 8. Love watching you guys. Very, very educational. Thank you, and big shout out to you and yours. That's really fantastic. Somebody asked if I can speak some Afrikaans. Okay. And who do I think would win between RoboCop and Terminator? That's fairly simple. Terminator, definitely. Okay. You want me to speak Afrikaans? Okay, I'll speak a little bit for you guys. Ek sal nou 'n drankie hê. Ek sal hierdie I can't even remember how to say beer. I guess it's beer. Drink. I can't believe it's me. I'm so rusty. I had to learn it in school. Maybe I could say something else like hierdie rekenaar is Apple rekenaar. Okay, good enough. That's it. Yeah, beer. Sorry, I mean, it's been bloody forever. Anyway, yeah, let me quickly tell you, I'm actually drinking a Harbin beer. I got a whole bunch of beers in the fridge, and I decided that I'm going to only drink beer from the places that I've been, you know. Okay, what's this? Why not post on Bilibili and Mandarin? Okay. Guys, I have to explain this whole, like, why I don't post to the Chinese social media, and why I think it's a bad idea. First of all, in order to put it up there, you need subtitles, otherwise there's no point, right? I don't know if any of you guys have ever tried to do subtitles. It is more work than making the video itself, all right? So it's basically double, triple the work to make a video if you want to put subtitles in there and get them all timed correctly and all that. It's really a pain in the ass. So if you do that, you know, you're stuck with a situation where, you know, you're spending so much time and there's no gratification because you can't make any kind of money at all off of the Chinese internet. I know people will tell you different, but I know people who actually do make some money, and they need millions of views before they make even a small amount of money from the Chinese internet. On top of that, that just opens you to more scrutiny, really. Every time you upload a video, it's just potentially causing more issues for yourself, and it's really just not a very worthwhile thing, basically. Yeah, so I did try at some point to get stuff on the Chinese media, but I'm just not interested in doing it anymore. So I don't want to forsake my Chinese followers, because, for instance, I met a Chinese subscriber today, and this is something I'd like to tell you guys, actually. Every Saturday, at least for the last 3 months, every single Saturday I've been meeting subscribers every Saturday morning at a coffee shop, and just non-stop, and every single Saturday it's been at least 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people at a time, and it's really awesome. I'm busy building a little library of all my subscribers kind of saying stay awesome, and I'm going to put a montage together. But it's so nice to actually meet, you know, my subscribers in real life. We always have interesting conversations, and I can give them ideas about where to go, etc., etc. Okay, so let's get back to some of these things. Let's go back up here a little bit. Sorry. Okay, it says, I'm living in South India. I'm coming to China for my studies, and I'm going to start a YouTube channel. Excellent. That's fantastic. I like that a lot. You know, the more YouTubers in China, the better. Although I was the first guy ever doing it, and I kind of blazed the trail, because especially back then people weren't sure, like, if you put things up on the internet, are you going to get into trouble? Are they going to arrest you? Because it's kind of a gray area, you know, you got to be careful what you say and all that kind of nonsense. But, you know, I just went ahead and did it. And it's just one of those situations where people saw me doing it and then they started to make their own channels. And it's great. I love to see the community grow. I really do. It's always been something that I've enjoyed, and I try to do as many collaborations with other China YouTubers as possible, because I like the idea of having sort of a very holistic view of China from the outside. Okay, I got another guy called Soap. Says, any tips for surviving the pollution in the water, food and air? Yeah, you know, it's difficult. I have a water machine in my house, which, you know, it's just like a water cooler you see in an office, and we get water delivered. Of course, that can't always be guaranteed, because you do get scandals where, you know, people kind of go ahead and, you know, put sort of tap water in those things and deliver them. So you can't always be sure. It's one of those things you just kind of have to say, c'est la vie, you know, that's life, YOLO, you know, and just go ahead and try your best. Someone's like, put the beer in a glass. Yeah, I'll think about it. Just give me a second. That would mean having to get up. Okay, let's see. Let's get wasted. Okay, second one. I plan on it. Okay, let me see. Let me try to get to another question here. Someone says, I want to buy Kevin Prozzy scooter, seriously. Well, it's fairly easy. That's a Honda Spacey. That's why we called it Kevin, which we resurrected. It's a Honda Spacey 100cc. They're fairly easy to get. Let's see what else. Someone says, let's see. Express, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, people keep asking me what VPNs to use. There's a reason why I don't always outright say it. It's because China's actively trying to shut down VPNs all the time. That's in their best interest, and they've got departments of the government that are doing that. So if I go out and say, oh, this one, and this one are good, they've got people watching my videos, and those 3 VPNs will then be actively attacked. I suggest you just go search online, Google it, you'll figure it out. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm getting kind of trying to catch up here. Okay, I actually don't know what CX means, so yeah, sorry if I don't know what that is. A couple of people are writing CX. I have no idea what that means. Okay, what happened to the bike shop? Good question. All right, guys, I'm going to quickly answer this because this is something that we should talk about, actually. CX is a smiley face, son. All right. Is it though? It's not one that I can recognize. CX. Never seen that one, and I'm from the, you know, I was using the internet before it was the internet. I was actually on bulletin board systems, BBSs, and then I went from there to the internet. Please turn on community contributions on their channel, on your channel. I'll see. Yeah, it is turned on. Community contributions are turned on, and people do submit subtitles, which is awesome, and I always approve them. Back to the bike shop. Okay, so you know, where we had our bike shop was this sort of village. It's like a little urban village type thing. And we were having trouble because the government is going to knock it down. So basically what happened was we were told we had to vacate. This was a few months ago. And basically we had no choice. We had to move. So what we did is we sold off a bunch of our tools, but we also stored the more expensive, more important stuff. And as soon as we get the chance to, you know, move to a better location, we'll reopen it. Okay. Someone said, okay, let's see. What's this? Okay. Thanks for the answer. Please make one video as public service announcement of sorts. Okay. All right. Awesome. So basically, the reason why we haven't been talking about the bike shop is because it's kind of in limbo at the moment until we figure it out. And we've been so busy doing our ADV China instead. So the time that I used to go up to build bikes is now being used for us to go up and ride and make videos for you guys. And I've got to tell you, we did such an amazing adventure this past week. We went into some really beautiful sort of countryside. You've seen a few of the clips in my recent video, the one about the Dark Ages thing. But we not only went out and sort of saw all this beautiful stuff, we got amazing drone footage out there, and we went to go stay in a middle of the range hotel this time, and it was, I don't want to spoil it, it was just, you got to watch it, it's really cool. Okay, let's see, let's find another thing here. Okay, someone says, have you applied for a UK passport yet? Yes, I'm in the process of trying to, but unfortunately the only way I'm going to be able, this is to Jack Jones, the only way this is going to work out is if I go through the ancestral visa route, which is, I'm sure some of you know, a very long and difficult process. So I'm looking into that, and I am planning to eventually go down that route. It's on the cards for sure. Let's see what else. Let me take a quick look here. Foreigners having babies in China, any advice? And someone's asking about the North Korean situation. I'll talk about those two things quickly. Foreigners having babies in China. Okay, well, the first thing is it's very cheap here. That's the first thing that just comes to mind. To actually have a child here is significantly cheaper than in the West. Of course, it depends, because in the West sometimes people would you know, you'd have like medical insurance and stuff, but if you don't have medical insurance here, it's actually very cheap, incredibly cheap to have a child. There's all sorts of complications when it comes to the child's nationality though, because the child will be seen as being Chinese. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure since I haven't done that. Somebody earlier on asked me if I'm planning to have kids, and the answer is I would like to have kids in the future. But because my situation isn't very stable, and I know it's not the best thing to do, is to kind of wait for a stable situation, because in life that never really does present itself. But I got a couple of things in the works, and we'll see how it goes. So I'll just leave it at that. But I do plan to. Carl said that you guys just got hit in Florida with a hurricane. Yeah, I've been keeping track of that. It's pretty intense. And he says, do we get hurricanes here? We do. In fact, we had a massive typhoon that rolled through here quite a few times, actually, not just once, but like a whole bunch of times. And I took a time lapse, which I shared with my patrons, and I guess what I'll do is I will make that time lapse of the hurricane part of one of my intros in my upcoming video, so everybody gets to see it. Because I don't like to keep things behind a paywall. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Let's see. Are there many single women in Shenzhen that want to marry a foreign man? Well, yeah, sure. There are plenty of single women. You know, you often hear about this woman shortage in China, but it's in the rural areas. If you go to you know, cities like Shenzhen, the women actually outnumber the men, so you don't have to worry about that sort of thing. Okay, let's see what else we've got going on here. Could you create a group for ADV China, ADV France? I mean, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, we could do that at some point in the future. Let's see what else is going on here. By the way, for anyone who was affected by the Hurricane Irma, you know, all the best wishes to you guys. I hope you managed to, you know, get through all that. Okay. Biggest tips for starting YouTubers. Single father wanting to help other single fathers. If you want to be a YouTuber, number one, you need a thick skin. I think that's the most important thing. You need a thick skin. Number two, be a likable person. I mean, either likable or somebody that people hate, one of the two. But basically, what you need is you need to have a brand. You know, I know people who do some of the most interesting things ever on YouTube, right? They've got great ideas, their production quality is amazing. If you watch one of their videos, you'll think it's a Hollywood film or something. And yet they've got very few subscribers. And I think it all boils down to the fact that it's not about the equipment you use. It's not about the, you know, the subject matter as such. It's more about you as a person, because that's what YouTube is all about. You know, it's called YouTube for a reason. It's not called like Corporation Tube. Because like if you want to watch a TV show, you'll watch a proper TV show. If you want to watch a movie, you'll watch a movie. But if you just want to connect with someone online, kind of like what we're doing now, you need to be able to understand the person. So if you're weird on camera and shy on camera and strange on camera, people might not actually, you know, connect with you. All right, let's go through a couple of other things here. I'm talking so much I don't even have time to drink my beer. Give me a second. Let me catch up. It's not the best beer, to be honest. Okay. Let's see. What have we got here? Let's see. Taxes in China. Usually your company will sort that out. Okay. Someone here is asking about getting a visa. All right. Any advice for getting a visa? It's difficult. The visa restrictions are a lot more strict at the moment. And also, basically the best way to get a visa is to make sure that if you're coming here, excuse me, if you're going to come to China and you have a job lined up, make sure that your company sorts your visa out before you come here. That's my best advice, because you'll get a lot of companies saying, don't worry, just come over on like a tourist visa or a business visa, we'll sort it out. That's all bollocks. You know, a lot of the times what they'll do is they'll pretend that they're sorting out your visa for a year or two while you're just sitting there on your tourist and business visa. It's never really a good idea. So try and get that sorted out before you come here. That's my advice. Okay, what else? Someone says, too bad you couldn't come out to Texas. It is too bad. Although I have to admit a secret. On my way back, because of the route I was taking, I snuck through Texas. I did actually kind of go through. I didn't stop, but I snuck through it. So I have seen Texas, but I just couldn't stop there. And you know, Texas has some strange laws about international driver's licenses. I didn't want to get pulled over, so I just kind of snuck through there. Someone says we're losing you there. I hope you guys can hear me fine. Let's continue. Someone's like, how could you wear a suit? I'd die. You know, it is difficult to wear a suit, especially in this heat here. I'm not going to lie, but that's just the way it goes. You know, if you have to brand yourself, that's what I do. It's a brand, really. And I get recognized on the streets a lot. Hey, Sean, I see you there, Sean. Sean's actually someone I know from South Africa, old friend of mine. That's pretty cool to see you here. Anyway, yeah, with the whole suit thing, there's a reason for it, and that is I do get recognized out in public quite often, and it's kind of weird if I'm walking around in a sort of jeans and t-shirt or something. It just doesn't, you know, it's just weird. Okay. Let's take a look what else we got going on here. Hopefully coming. By the way, if anyone is coming to Shenzhen, because I get these requests quite a lot. People are like, hey, I'm coming to Shenzhen, I want to meet you. Every Saturday morning I do meet my subscribers, like I said. Try to send me a message on Facebook or or through YouTube, you know, a private message, and I'll try to add you on WeChat to like organize that. Okay. And by the way, I know I'm really bad at replying to, you know, messages, because I get so many. So I apologize if you've left me a message on Facebook or something and I haven't got back to you. You know, it's just a bit overwhelming, and I try to get through the messages as often as possible. All right, someone's asking about North Korea. I'll tell you what's happening with North Korea is no one actually cares. I mean, to be honest, here in China, you don't hear it cropping up in conversation very often. It's just one of those things that, you know, in China, people tend to get on with their lives, and they don't really pay that much attention to international news unless it's directly affecting China. And with the whole North Korea thing, I think it's strategically kind of been left out of the news. People aren't really going on about it. So as far as, you know, here in China, it's not a big deal. Obviously, I'm following it. And I personally know the guy who organized the whole Dennis Rodman thing into North Korea. And I've got him on WeChat, and he says he's struggling because he organizes tours into North Korea. He says he's struggling at the moment because not many people want to go into North Korea because of the tensions. That's about as much as I can say about North Korea, really. What else we got here? Okay, what do I think of esports? Esports are huge here in China, man. Like, people love it. What else? I know that's not a great answer. When is the documentary coming up? I've already said that, but I guess you weren't here. It's coming out in probably late October, November, thereabouts. Someone's like, do the glasses move thing. Well, what do you know? I actually have my glasses here. And yes, they are real Ray-Bans, not knockoffs. There we go. And the glasses move thing. There we go. Sorry, no sound effects. I always add those in post. Believe it or not, they don't actually make that noise. Okay, let's see what else. Let's see. Is beetle breeding a big thing in China? Don't think so. I know there's a dude who breeds like cockroaches and eats them. Do ESL jobs pay more for advanced degrees? I'll be honest with you, no. No, ESL job. I mean, it does depend. You can try and negotiate with the company or whatever and say because you've got a better degree you deserve more, and sometimes it can work, but you know, I wouldn't say so. I guess you just have to have a white face and the paperwork and you can get a job, really, you know. And if you don't have a white face, you just have to have a very foreign look to you. Okay, let's see. Yeah, by the way, look up that cockroach breeder. There is a guy here in China who breeds cockroaches and he eats them. I mean, just look it up. Someone's like, comments on Die Antwoord. I'll be totally honest with you, I don't like Die Antwoord. I think they're a bunch of rednecks, basically. If you come from South Africa, you'd understand. When will you come to Hangzhou or Shanghai? Strangely enough, I might be going to Shanghai fairly soon, in a month or so. Because a friend of mine wants me to go and fetch his cameras that he left there and bring them back down to Shenzhen for him, and he's currently out of the country, so I might be going there. Let's see what else we got here. Drink more so you can spill your secrets. Oh, why is Bitcoin so popular in China? It's a good question. In China, people don't have a lot of options for investment, right? You've got all this wealth here in China at the moment, but people can't invest it in anything, right? It's not like the West, where you've got all sorts of different kind of investment schemes and things. You basically have three options. Number one is to buy property. That's the biggest option. That's where everybody invests their money. Like 100% of people here invest in property that I know of. If they've got the money, they buy property. The second one is the stock market, but everybody has been very shy because of that big stock market crash, which I actually predicted by 2 weeks, like a couple of years ago. And the third one, of course, Bitcoin just came along, and people are like, wow, that's great. And not only is it for investment, but it's a way for sort of corrupt, dodgy people to get their money out of China. So that's why China has clamped down on it, is because it's a huge risk for capital flight. So, you know, if you've got like a corrupt official or corrupt businessman, and he wants to launder his money and get it out of China, what easier way than to just buy a whole lot of Bitcoin? So that's why, you know, the government has been trying to regulate Bitcoin, and then secondly has actually pretty much closed it down. You know what I mean? That's Bitcoin. Okay, what else we got here? Am I drunk? No, not yet. Yes, I did try the Belgian beers you gave me in Hong Kong. That was awesome. Thank you very much. Golder P. How do you say your username? Golderp. It was nice meeting you, by the way. I met a whole bunch of people at the Hong Kong Retro retro.hk thing, and it was great. It was so nice to meet you guys. Why not Vietnam, Indonesia, or Japan? Why China? Well, it's quite simple. Southeast Asia is not really my thing. I did want to go to Japan, but at the time I was actually planning to go to Japan. That was my plan, you see, to get all the way there. And I was hitting a lot of issues with my visa getting there. And kind of while I was busy sorting out my issues, and I was going to end up going there, that was the plan, I went on this business trip to China, and I just fell in love with China, so that's why I went here. I mean, who knows, if I'd gone to Vietnam or another place first, maybe I would have gone there, who knows. Do you miss Castle Lager? No, I hate Castle Lager. It's like the worst lager. It's terrible, I hate it. But I like Windhoek. Windhoek is awesome. That's my favorite. Someone's like, is Prozzy really leaving? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll leave. What else? let's see. Let's see what else. What YouTubers do I watch? That's a good question. I do watch a whole bunch, but they're usually just like, I'll tell you what I do like to watch is I do like to watch intellectual people, because, you know, you feel like when you live in China for so long as I have, yeah, I mean, my Chinese is not fantastic, as you'll see a lot of people always point out. They're always like, hey man, your Chinese sucks, you've been there for so long, why isn't your Chinese better? It's good enough for me to go have conversations and for me to organize things that I need, and, you know, it's totally fine. But it's not on the level where I can have like a good intelligent conversation with someone about sort of philosophical ideas and stuff, you know. It's definitely not anywhere near there. And I have very few expat friends here. I mean, Seamilk and you know, a couple of other people, but, you know, less than I can fit on a hand. And those are the people I see often. And I enjoy to listen to intellectual sort of conversations and things like that. So I tend to watch some more sort of intellectual people like Sargon of Akkad, you know, which I enjoy, those kind of people. So you can kind of guess what I'm into. Anyway, what's next? Why do you always wear a suit? Are you some businessman? I think I kind of answered that. It's more or less my trademark, and I've got a video as to why I wear a suit. You can watch that, it explains it very clearly. Okay, what's next? Did you know that there's the American Football League of China? Yes, I did. In fact, I think I may have met the guy who started it. I remember meeting a guy years ago who was talking about starting it up. Okay. Hi, Winston. Do you know Seamilk is still going back to the US? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is, but you can ask him about that, because he wants his daughter to grow up in, you know, the same way that he did. Okay. What else? Trying to get through this. Sorry guys, there's so many here. Someone's like, I give up. I don't know what you're giving up about. Okay, are there many cyclists in China? Yeah, actually, strangely enough, there are quite a few cyclists in China. It's become a sort of a nouveau rich thing to do, to buy all the gear and then go cycle. I've seen less of it these days, but there was a period about a year ago where you'd very often see people with the most expensive, like, carbon fiber mountain bikes and stuff, with all the gear and that silly looking helmet and stuff, you know, and they'd be riding around and, you know, breathing in the fumes. A couple of people from South Africa. Hey, how's it going? Cool. Okay, do I speak Cantonese? Someone asks. Moa, I don't. Would you recommend studying in China as a student while at university? Actually, yes, I would. But I'm going to give you some advice. If you're going to study any subject, study Chinese, the language. Because quite literally, think about it this way. If you went overseas and you're looking for a job or something, and you say, hey, I learned history in a Chinese university, they'll be like, take a hike, mate. Like, seriously, we don't care. But if you say, I learned Chinese in a Chinese university, they'll be like, oh yeah, that's freaking cool, you know, because that's the best degree you could ever get from China, is a degree in Chinese. Anything you wish to go back in time and change, by Sanket Takare. I think it's Takare, maybe? Thackeray. You know, I think we all have mistakes we wish we could remedy, but I've thought about this quite a few times in my life, because I have made a whole bunch of like really huge missteps in my life. But I think if I go back and I try to change anything, then I wouldn't be who I am today. And so I think the answer to that is no. There's nothing I'd like to go back and change, because there's no point. Someone is, hello, beautiful, I love your videos and I want to move to China, boss. Please make a video, more electronic places. Love you, my name is Jason. Thank you, Jason, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll show you more electronic places, why not? Okay, someone says the audio is lagging. Apologies for that. You have to understand that I'm on a very limited sort of bandwidth here. Now, I'm gonna have to grab another beer. This one's almost done, so give me a second. I'm gonna show you a trick. Hey babe, could you please get me another beer? Thank you. Can you say hi?
No.
You don't need to come on the camera, just say hi.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, thanks. All right, next. See, that's what makes a man happy.
Beer.
Not beer, it's someone bringing beer to them. Anyway. Oh, that tastes great. This is weird. This is kind of a Chinese-made Asahi. It's made here, and it's a little less alcohol. It's like 3.6% alcohol, something like that. Okay, let me get back to the questions now that I have a fresh beer. Someone says, what do you think of the PewDiePie drama as African? Well, dude, first of all, this is from Ban Pan. You should say an African. I don't know if anyone taught you about the whole vowel thing, but A-E-I-O-U, you should always put an in front of it. Anyway, as an African, I would say that people say stupid things, you know, in the heat of the moment. So that's what I'd say. I've said some stupid things before myself, and I'm pretty sure you have too. Anyway, let's move on. Would you recommend? No, I've already done that one. Okay, hang on. Let's see. I love Asahi, by the way. It's one of my favorite beers. Dangerous animals in China. I once picked up, I kid you not, a green tree viper here. I'd actually been drinking. The video is on C-Milk's channel. You can search SerpentZA on his channel. You'll see. We were drunk, and I was walking around. I saw a snake on the road, and I was like, hey, awesome. And I picked it up because I love snakes, and I used to catch snakes when I was younger. But as soon as I picked it up, I literally noticed that it was one of the most venomous snakes. And if you get bitten by it, chances are you're going to die. So I very quickly, like, tossed it away. So, yeah. But you know what the most dangerous animal in China is a tick. A tick, you know, little ticks, those stupid things that kind of suck your blood. You get more deaths in the rural areas from tick bites than anything else. Someone says, shout out to Huizhou, coolest small city in China. Okay, sweet. Well, I mean, yeah, I go to Huizhou every second week now. And kind of like Reno, it's the biggest little city in China. Okay, what else have we got here? Have I ever been to Seattle, Washington? No, I didn't make it up to Seattle. Real pity, though. I was kind of looking forward to seeing where the first Starbucks comes from, you know. That may or may not have been sarcastic. Let's see what's next. How do you stay in shape in China? I'll tell you what, mate. Oh, Johnny English. Thanks, mate. Staying in shape in China is fairly easy because you walk a lot, and it's just amazing. You know, when I was living in South Africa and every other country I've been to, you know, Western country, people rely too much on their cars, and you drive everywhere. I mean, it's quite ridiculous, but you do. You literally, oh, I need to go to the shops, and it's only like a kilometer away, and you get in your car and drive there. You know. And you're just driving all the time. When I did my trip across America, I was just driving everywhere. Like, I didn't get any walking done. But, you know, here in China, because you live in a city, everything's kind of within walking distance. Even if you're taking the metro or a bus, you have to walk to the bus station. You have to walk to the metro station. If I look at my phone, I, on average, walk about 10,000 steps a day. You know, it's got that thing that counts. And sometimes 20,000 steps a day. It's pretty awesome. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Will you bring your wife back to South Africa? No. I made a conscious decision a long time ago that I'm not going to take my wife to South Africa. And I know that a lot of South Africans will disagree, and I know sometimes I'm a bit too hard on South Africa because it's still it is a beautiful country. It is a fantastic country, but you know, the crime is just too severe. And I've had it was a few years ago. A friend of mine was a young woman was murdered, and it was just the last straw for me. And I'm just so not interested in taking my wife to a country where I constantly have to be worrying. You know, I don't want to get back into that mode. I don't want to have to carry my gun around anymore. You know, I left that all behind when I came here. But you know, I used to, don't know if you guys know, but I used to carry a gun. I've been carrying a gun since I was 16 years old. And you know, I had to get special permission when I was that young. But when I turned 18, I got my firearm license, and I used to carry a gun everywhere, all the time. It was always on me. It was a huge responsibility. It was a huge weight on my shoulders. And you know, it was just not a fun time. And it's just one of those things where if I did take my wife back with me, I would just be worrying all the time, because you know, it is the rape capital of the world. It's got so many problems, and I know the country too well, and that's the problem. Is I know it too well. I'm not naive enough to just think that everything's going to be okay. So I'd rather not put my wife in danger. I don't mind myself, but I don't want to put her in danger. See some questions. I have a 9mm. It's a Taurus 917 CS. It's basically a Beretta 92 knockoff, but it takes 18 rounds. You know, 17 in the magazine, 1 in the spout. And it's fun. I like guns. I like shooting guns. I enjoy guns, but you know, that whole sort of gun part of my life's pretty much over. You know, I left that behind in South Africa. Anyway, let's talk about something a little more light-hearted. Let's try to get through a couple more of these. Let's see. Shout-outs from Germany. Thank you. I'm really enjoying all these shout-outs from all over the world, guys. It's amazing to me that there are so many people from around the world that watch my videos. And it's one of those things, you know, when I did that trip across America, I was just blown away by how many interesting and awesome people I met who've seen my videos. And I'm planning one in the UK next year. This is my plan, is I want to go to the UK, and I want to basically get an old Jaguar this time. You know, I did it in a Corvette across America. This time I want to get an old Jaguar, and I want to ride across the UK, and I'm going to go everywhere, up into Scotland and Northern Ireland and all these different places, and Wales and you know, Birmingham, because I said I'd do a conquering Birmingham, so I'm going to do a conquering Birmingham. You know, and just go and meet as many people as possible. All right. What do you think of North Korea and Japan? What will China do? You know, politics is not my strong suit. This is my strong suit. Just kidding. I've kind of already talked about the North Korea thing. I think China's just going to sit on the back pedal and, you know, just wait. You know, that's all they're going to do. See what happens. So we'll all see what happens. Okay. And that was from Dennis McCarthy. Thanks for the question. Okay, the next one is Lushy, I guess. What is your process of coming up with video ideas? Okay, this is interesting. I was struggling for okay, I actually am currently working on a really cool video. I'm going to tell you guys all about this, right? You know, I got my silver play button. Damn it, I should be showing it off. It's in, no, I'll grab it later. I got my silver play button. And with the silver play button, they gave me a commercial invoice. And it's kind of funny because I've actually got it here. I'll read this for you. On the commercial invoice, it states, okay, this is the actual invoice that came with the silver play button. It says, purpose of shipment, check 1. And it's got a whole bunch of things like gift, not sold, sold, personal effects. It's ticked off as a sample. So they say it's a sample. Right, which I think is kind of interesting. Whoa, Johnny English, dude. All right, so they put it down as a sample, and they say it's a metal sample, 70% MDF, 20% acrylic, 10% zinc material recognition award sample. That's what they say it is. 1.9 kilograms. But on this invoice, they've got a contact number, and they've got an originating address. And the originating address is very close to where I live. When I say very close, it's more like a 2-hour drive. So I called the number. I'm making a video about this. I called the number, and you know, this lady answered her, and you know, she's got her name down here. So I asked, I don't want to dox her or anything, but I was like, hey, is this so and so? And she's like, yeah, this is so and so. I recorded everything. You guys will see. And I was like, hey, you know, I'm a YouTuber. I want to come out and take a look. This is all in Chinese, my broken Chinese. I want to come out and see how these things are made. And they were like, what the hell are you calling us for? You know, it's like weird, out of the blue for them. They weren't expecting that. And basically what happened was I arranged for them to ask their boss if I could come and see, you know, the factory where the silver play buttons are made, because it's so close to my house, literally. So, you know, I'm waiting for them. I sent a message yesterday, you know, hey, can I come yet? And they say they're still waiting for an answer from their boss. So here's the plan. If they say yes, I'm going. If they say no, I'm going anyway. I'm going to stand at the gate and film like, hey, this is where the silver play buttons come from, and I'll wave my silver play button around, you know what I mean? So that's the plan. That was what I was supposed to do last week. That was my my plan. But because I haven't had a definitive answer from them, because I want a yes or a no, you know, it has to be like, yes, you can come, or no, you can't. And if they say no, I'm going to go anyway. If they say yes, then I'm going to go, and it'll be nicer. So I had to come up with an idea, and I was like, what the hell can I do? And this was, you know, what was it, yesterday, day before yesterday? And I was like, I've got to come up with an idea, because I was set on that for the week. And I was like, man, I just got to go out and film. So I took my stuff, I went out. It was blazing hot sun. It's so hot here, you won't believe it. And I went to that urban village. I thought that's an interesting place to go, and then the idea came to me. It's like, you know what? China is kind of still in the dark ages when it comes to a lot of things. Like a lot of the people that live here in China in the rural areas and stuff. It's all about going out. Like it's all about the way of life being so backwards, but not in a bad way, in an interesting way. I mean, I enjoy seeing that. It's really, really cool. So I thought, why not just go out there and walk around and talk about it? And this sort of subject just came to mind. Anyway, yeah, everyone's like saying, have another beer, have another beer. I'm trying. People are asking, no, hey, shout out from Sweden. Hey, the Crunky Monkey, dude, another beer. I'll have another beer for you for sure. Sasha just came out here. She thought I was asking for another beer. Yep. Don't worry, babe. I'll call you later if I need another one. Thanks. Thank you. You know, that's couldn't really be happier, to be honest. Someone's like, how long are you going to South Africa for? I'm not going to South Africa. You know, I recently went to Mauritius to meet my parents and my sister, and you know, I haven't seen them in like 5 years or something. And that was about as close as I want to get back. Shout out from Cape Town, except Cape Town. You know, Cape Town's where I was born. Actually, it's a beautiful place. It's absolutely stunning. You know, you got the wine route, and someone's like, got to chug an entire beer. The J vlog, dude. All right. I gotta tell you something though, I haven't eaten anything all day today. Give me a second. What else we got going on here? Someone's like, why Asahi? I love Asahi, don't get me wrong. There are some Chinese beers which I absolutely love, like Qingdao. I love Qingdao. It's literally one of my favorite beers in the world. But lately I've been finding a lot of fake Qingdao. And it's really quite disparaging because, you know, you get a terrible headache and it's probably killing me slowly, giving me cancer or something. So I'm trying to cut down on the Qingdao. What else we got here? Chinese mooncakes. Yeah, it's mooncake time again. You get to see, you know, that stupid fat Hong Kong guy is always on the billboards promoting mooncakes. I always have Hong Kong stars promoting it around here. It's kind of interesting. What else we got here? people are saying, I put Safa here. When you're coming this side, you know, like I was saying, with South Africa, I've got such a weird relationship with South Africa. I do obviously have a lot of fondness for the place, and I would love to go back to meet my friends. But it's just one of those things where I know what I'm getting myself into. I mean, I'd love to go down to Cape Town and do the wine route and stuff, and go have some braais and biltong and all that kind of stuff, and visit Johannesburg again and see friends and family. It's something I really would like to do, but you know, I don't want to go all the way back there without taking my wife, and I just don't want that. I don't want to be like a helicopter parents, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Okay, let's see what's going on. No, Mazza, that's not happening. Not on camera. Let's see what else we got here. Would you ever visit Australia? Oh, absolutely. I have family in Australia, and yeah, it's a great place. Someone says, which 125 bike would you buy? Well, to be honest, just get anything from Honda. It's your best bet. Absolutely. I mean, the 125s that I built, they're based on Suzuki GN 125s, which are good, but they're old tech. Honda always has the best tech. Okay. Does China have any good national sports? Sports is kind of weird thank you very much, Mr. What else we got here? Stay Awesome from Barra Two Swords. Well, you sound like a pretty awesome guy, the name like that. Let's go back to the sports thing. No, ping pong maybe, you know, table tennis. China is a weird thing with sports because your average Chinese person doesn't actually play sports, and I'd say like 90% of Chinese people don't play sports. Except, you know, you do have this culture of sort of basketball. You know, guys like to sometimes after work go play basketball together, but it's kind of like an amateur friendly thing. What they do is they have incredibly hardcore training camps for athletes and sportsmen, and these are the guys that end up in the Olympics. But it's not for fun, it's for competition. Let's see what else we got going on here. Okay, what's next for ADV China when Sea Milk is gone? You know, it's never going to stop. Sea Milk and I are always going to be, doesn't matter what happens, if either of us move wherever, whatever the deal is, we will always be getting together every couple of months. If we get together every couple of months, let's say Sea Milk's in America, for instance, he'll fly out here to China, or we'll both fly to India or somewhere interesting, and we'll spend like a month just making ADV videos and filming them, and then, you know, we'll be editing them for months to come. And I don't know if any of you guys saw, did you guys see those ADVs that we made when I was in America in my Corvette? So I was in my Corvette, and Sea Milk was in China, and what happened was we were kind of doing this really cool thing where you know, I was driving in America, he was on the bike, and he phoned me through Bluetooth, and we were doing this like cross, you know, international, cross country kind of ADV stuff. It was pretty sweet, you know what I mean? Okay, let's see what's going on. Okay, whereabouts in Mexico is Sea Milk from? I think he said Tijuana. Okay, what else we got here? How big is boxing in China? It's not a thing in China. Do you speak Afrikaans? Yes, I can definitely speak Afrikaans. Not very well though. I think it's time for another beer. Hang on. Hey, babe. Let's see. Babe.
Yeah?
Could you please bring me another beer?
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks. Can you say hi to everyone again? Go on, say hi to everyone.
I'm too shy.
She's too shy. Okay. All right. And what's this one I'm drinking now? This is a Carlsberg lager actually. I haven't ever tried this one before. I just spotted it in the shop, so I thought I'd give it a try. It looks kind of cool. Let's give it a shot. I prefer the Asahi, to be honest. Anyway, it's beer. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Skull, yeah. Skull. What else? How's pizza in China? Awful. Pizza in China is terrible. It's literally awful, but there are a couple of international brands that have opened up, like there's a Pizza Express has opened up recently in the big mall near where I live, and that's pretty good. Greetings from Southern California. Greetings. California is awesome. What country would you move to after your China stint is over? That's a difficult question to answer, man. You know, my passport doesn't give me a lot of options. Okay, what's going on here? Have you seen any news in Chinese media about the Bitcoin exchange ban? Well, yeah, I mean, I actually just talked about that a while back. You probably weren't here, Rodrigo. But yeah, it's big here because it's one of the biggest ways for people to launder money and also invest. So unfortunately, everyone's talking about it and they're all pissed off. What else we got? How often do I drink? Actually, not as often as I used to. I mean, drinking's a big part of my culture. I mean, anyone who's from South Africa knows that's what it's like. And it's the same as British culture, really. You know, there's a whole sort of pub culture type thing, but it's probably a lot more intense in South Africa. People, every time you go out, slam that beer. I'll consider it, but it doesn't taste as good as the Asahi. Pretty much any kind of social situation you go out in South Africa includes drinking. It's just one of those things. I was actually, when I met up with my family again, when was it? You know, when I went to Mauritius like a couple months ago or whatever, I was surprised at how much they drink. It's just like every day, and they drink a lot. I used to be like that, not anymore. I'd say once a week with sea milk. I drink heavily. You know, every sort of ADV China Monday night we get horribly drunk. It's just par for the course. We'll go out, we'll film the whole day, and wherever we end up, we kind of sit down and drink like a whole bottle of whiskey or a whole whatever, and we just get terribly drunk and have a laugh and watch bad movies or whatever, you know, and then the next day we have a hangover and we try to do editing. That doesn't work that well. Someone was like, do you have a brother or sister? I have a sister, a younger sister. She's married and has a daughter now. Yeah. What else we got? Sorry guys. Drinking at 8 a.m. It's 8:30 p.m. here. What else? Does China have decent curry? No, absolutely not. There's no curry here. It's a Thai curry maybe, but it's always that lemongrass crap. What's this? This is, do you do random subscriber meetups with people who visit Shenzhen? Yes, I do. I said it earlier, every Saturday morning I meet up with subscribers. Every single Saturday morning for the past 3 months. And we have we have coffee. You know, I used to meet up with subscribers for a beer, but it would always get out of hand. And it's just one of those things where I get a lot of people coming through here who'd like to meet up for a beer, and I enjoy it, but I'd enjoy it too much. And we'd go out and we'd sort of get sloshed and go out for barbecue and beer. And you know, when you're doing that every day of the week, because so many subscribers want to come and meet you, it starts to really kind of wear down on you. You know what I mean? So that's why I've moved it to like morning coffees on Saturday, because you can have a proper conversation without getting completely out of hand. You know? Okay. Let's see what else. Love the gratuitous drone shots. Thanks. I mean, I love making them. It's dodgy. It's difficult to actually film drone here. You know, you get a lot of attention. It's not easy, and that's why you don't see a lot of drone footage coming out of China, because if you do get the drone out, you get a lot of attention. It can be quite difficult. When are you returning to the States for a visit? Dude, next year, probably January or February, I'm going to America again. My Corvette is still there. I can't wait to drive it again. But Seamilk and I are doing a very special sort of a series, which will be all the way up the West Coast, and we're we're going to have one big subscriber meetup at the end of it. We're not going to be seeing people along the way because we've got too much to film, but it'll basically be one long series we're going to do all the way up the West Coast, and then we're going to have a massive big subscriber meetup, probably somewhere in the middle or wherever, whatever works out best for you guys. What else? Hey, weird question. Have you ever had pig's blood pudding? Do you mean black pudding from the UK? Yeah, I've had that. I don't like it. Does China have a good beer selection? IPAs? No, but there is now quite a big, how could you say, like craft beer sort of thing going on. Yeah. By the way, my phone is running out of battery, but I don't want this to end. So if you guys don't mind, give me a second. I'm going to try and plug in some power so it can charge, but I might have to unplug my microphone and the audio might go to shit, so just hang on. Before I do that, if one of your parents are born in the UK before 1983, you can get a UK passport. Yes, you are right, but neither of my parents were born there, unfortunately. My link to the UK is my grandfather, who came down to Cape Town in an amphibious bomber as an engineer during World War II for the Royal Air Force, and he met his wife, my grandmother, in South Africa. Even though she is British as well, she was like second generation, whatever. So my mother was born in Cape Town. She holds a British passport, but she's one of those British born overseas, so it kind of, you know, messes that whole thing up. All right, give me a second, guys. I'm going to go and try and get a cable, and let me try and figure this out. Give me a second. That was easier than I thought. Here's a cable. I'm just busy plugging everything in here. Okay, now we're going to see if the audio goes terribly wrong here. Give me a second. No. Still going. All right, guys, can you hear me? Is the audio okay? I've just changed the audio. Is it okay? Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Let me just get this down. Okay, you can hear me. Great. Okay, fantastic. Hang on, I gotta get this out. Give me a sec. See? Here it is. Okay, here we are. See, I'm not one to brag or anything, but man, I'm so happy that I managed to get this. Here we go, finally. It's kind of weird. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? You back? You back? Can you hear me? Crash? Peace? What's going on? Okay, not in sync. I hope it's not in sync. I can't stand that band. What's going? Alright, well. I'm just going to sit here and hopefully our connection is going to improve. Let's try and move this around. Lots of lag. Wow, this is very annoying. Let's just wait and see if this improves a little bit. Try type something. Okay, I hope it's back. I really hope it's back. Are we back? I'm not gonna waste time sitting here for half an hour saying Am I back? Am I back? Let me just get back to answering some of your questions. If it comes through, it comes through. If not, you know, I apologize. So let me get back to some of these questions. Let's see. All right, there we go. I think it's back. Good. All right, fantastic. We're back. All right, we're back. Thanks, guys, for sticking through this. You know, it's one of the most frustrating things here in China is dealing with this awful situation. And that awful situation is the internet. Okay. Hi from Cape Town. Dankie vir die video. Flippin' lekker content. Lekker dag geboekt. Okay, well, thank you very much, Matthew. Appreciate it. Right. Someone says, can you enable slow chat? Thanks. Guys, this is literally the first live stream I've ever done. I don't know how to enable slow chat. Please bear with me. I would like to do these live chats once in a while, but I don't want it to be like a very often thing. I think it's something that, you know, every once in a while when there's something to talk about, or, you know, when I can just sit down with you guys and have a chat and have a beer. I think it's kind of nice, but if I make it too often, it'll be weird. Okay, let's get back to some questions. We have over here, is football becoming serious in China? No, I don't think so. What else? Have you been to... Okay, are you broadcasting this over VPN? Yes, I am broadcasting it over VPN. There's no other way that I can get YouTube working. And there's no way to really access the internet in China without a VPN. It's so annoying. It's literally probably the biggest hurdle that's put in anyone's way. And that's also why I'm the original China vlogger, because nobody else had the tenacity to kind of find a way around the firewall in the beginning. So for the first while, there was only me, which is kind of interesting. Okay, what else? How many beers have you had? This will be my number, probably number 5? Yeah, 5. Yeah, 5. Okay. Someone's like, I met a couple of South Africans in Sydney. Why did they want to leave South Africa? Safety reasons? Yes, safety reasons. You know, I've been thinking about doing a series of stories from South Africa, and I'm not sure if you guys are interested, because I've got some stories and they're pretty intense. So, you know, I don't know if it's something you guys would enjoy, but I was thinking about just doing that and talking about some of the most ridiculous things that have happened to myself, my family, my friends, good and bad. But I think people like to watch my channel for China, so I've always kind of kept that, you know, on the back burner. 42 Fab, thanks, mate. Just want to give you a big shout out. You know, it was so awesome to meet you and to stay with you there in Oklahoma, and it was one of the highlights of my trip, man. So absolutely appreciate it. Okay, what else we got going on here? Let's see, stories. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. How big is my apartment here in China? It's tiny. It's stupidly tiny. It's like 48 square meters or something. It's ridiculous. I've never lived in such a small place in my life. It's awful. I can't stand it. It's just terrible, but it's in a fantastic location, so I can't complain too much. Okay, what else? What else we got going on here? Someone says there's another South African guy on YouTube, blah blah blah. Yeah, I know about him. Whatever, it doesn't bother me. Haters gonna hate. What else is going on? is beer the main choice of drink in China, or does whiskey compete too? For me, to be honest, my favorite drink is Japanese sake, literally. Some Soap asks, do you ever buy organic or order foreign food? You know, I've got a problem with this word organic, right? Because let's be honest, every single vegetable, every single meat's organic. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, injected with hormones or if it's grown in toxic waste. It's still organic, right? It's still an organic thing. It's an organism. So I guess that means yes, because everything that I get food-wise is generally organic, and not that much of it is synthetic. But you know, to answer your question seriously, if you want to buy things like organic stuff, it is so difficult to get like good stuff here, and it's really expensive. Someone says I should speak some Chinese. Well, what do you want me to say in Chinese? Somebody give me a sentence and I'll say it. Let's see. I'm still waiting for a sentence to say in Chinese. I'm not getting one. It's a bunch of other nonsense. How do you say babe in Chinese? Bao bei? What am I supposed to say here? Do I speak Chinese with my wife? Yeah, I do. Whenever I can't figure things out. Say beer is life. 啤酒是生活. Okay. What else? Just trying to see if there's... Okay, anyway. Obviously you guys don't want... Or it's lagged or something. But, oh, Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally 买了那个贝壳在那个海边, I guess. That's not very good. I didn't do a good job with that one. Okay, anyway. It's from Isiro, I guess, says, hi Winston, my girlfriend, she's Chinese, from Jilin province. I wish one day we will go there to visit or do a trip like you. Jilin's pretty awesome, man. I love Jilin. It was one of the highlights of this Conquering Northern China. Jilin is, you know, obviously, that's the province that's right next to North Korea. And there was a lot of cool stuff there. It was really awesome. I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, what else we got going on here? Am I extremely disappointed that I can never become Chinese citizen? Not really, but I am extremely disappointed that, you know, after having spent so much of my life, I'm still treated like a fresh off the boat foreigner. You know, it's really annoying. I've spent a third of my life, you've seen the video, a third of my life here, and I'm still treated like, you know, Tim Budong who walks off the plane, and that's probably the most annoying thing. Okay, what else? Got someone was writing some Japanese there. Yeah. Watashi no sorry, let me try that again. Watashi ni hongo ga... Sorry, I gotta have a beer before I speak Japanese. Watashi ni hongo ga skoshi wakarimasu, demo mada jouzu ja arimasen. So basically I can speak Japanese, but I'm not very good at it. And it's good enough for me to get by. And my Japanese was way better than my Chinese before I came to China. Now my Japanese is really sucky and my Chinese is way better. Okay, let's see what else is going on. Does it ever bother you that you're different? You know, this is an interesting question. No, because having grown up in South Africa, I've always been a minority. You know, I've always been the sort of odd one out. Where you've got a population of sort of 80% African, as in black African and Indians and whoever else, because South Africa is quite a diverse mix, and you're one of the smaller percentage of white people. You realize that, you know, well, at least you grow up with that mindset that you are a minority and you are different. So when I came to China, nothing really changed. I'm still the minority. Everyone around me is Chinese instead of black Africans, and I just feel the same as always, you know. It's being a minority within a majority, you know. What else? Someone asked, would I ever consider conquering Western China? This is okay, let me be blunt about this. It'd be nice to tick it off, but it's nothing that I've ever really wanted to do. I know there's a lot of beauty in the west of China, but it's very undeveloped, and it's very politically sensitive. So to go to the west of China is actually, it's just a pain in the ass, you know. You have to have like minders and things if you want to go near Tibet and Xinjiang. There are police checkpoints everywhere. It's all sorts of nonsense. It's just really a pain in the ass. So I'd rather avoid that hassle. So we'll do it at some point, but only, you know, yeah, only if it's easier. Okay, what's your favorite World War II tank? I don't know, maybe the German Tiger tank? When do you plan to visit Tokyo? I've visited Tokyo before, and hopefully I'll be able to see it in the future. Someone says, say napkin in Chinese. Okay, 纸巾, easy. What else? Why does China have such big beds? I wouldn't say China has big beds, but it's got hard beds, like incredibly hard, like jumping on a plank of wood. Someone says, can I ask a question? Yes, you can ask a question. Someone says, why does your South African passport limit your future options? Because I can't go anywhere on it without a visa, that's why. Because it's one of the most undesirable passports in the world. And even China has, Chinese passports are becoming sort of better, as in they've got more options to go to. Say camel in Chinese, 骆驼. What else? Okay, come on guys, I need a good question here. These are all stuff, this is all stuff I've answered already. Someone says, say happy wife, happy life in Chinese. 开心的老婆，开心的生活.
Really?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, blah 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 blah. Did you ever go, well, did you ever went to Chinese prison? Well, you should go to grammar prison with that kind of grammar. You don't understand past tense? Come on. It should be, did you ever go to Chinese prison? And the answer is no. Okay, what else? What is the most politically incorrect thing I'm willing to say? Oh, I don't know, man. Who speaks better Chinese, you or Lawa86? Okay, it's weird. I'd say definitely C-Milk speaks better Chinese than me, like in general, but there's a weird thing where I know a lot more sort of local colloquialisms and idioms than he does. So we'll be out, you know, on an adventure somewhere, and I'll just be talking to the locals, and I'll say some kind of local idiom or thing that I've picked up, and he won't know what the hell I'm talking about. And this happens actually every single week. But when it comes to like proper studious grammar-like stuff, he's definitely better than me. No doubt about it. What else we got here? Will you stay in China for the rest of your life? I doubt it, man. It's just one of those things where it becomes difficult. Okay, what else we got here? Someone says, did you ever have a South African girlfriend? What do you think? I only grew up there and left there when I was 25. Didn't leave there as like a virgin, let's put it that way. Favorite Overwatch character would be Bastion, definitely Bastion. Okay, what else? Guys, come on. This is really Devolving. I want a real question. Can you ask me a real question here? What is all this nonsense? Okay. Ever visit Taiwan? Yeah, I've visited Taiwan a number of times. I've got a whole bunch of videos about Taiwan. You can go check them out. I love Taiwan. It's amazing. Someone says, did you have a black girlfriend? No, never had a black girlfriend. I mean, I had friends that were black, and some of them were girls, but no. What's your favorite Chinese cartoon or program? Absolutely none. Chinese TV is, you know, for people with a very special taste, let's put it that way. Okay. How do you deal with a VPN, and is it easy to set up there? You know, that's the thing. It used to be that you could go and set up your own VPN if you had a server overseas. Nowadays with Shadow Socks you can kind of do that, but back in the day, you know, we'd use OpenVPN and stuff, but that's all been blocked. It's pretty much impossible to use now. It's a cat and mouse game. It's kind of difficult. Okay, what else have we got here? Accounting in China. That's, sorry man, like Mac, that is a boring question. Seriously, I don't think anyone wants to know about accounting in China. I bet you they sit there with a calculator, you know, accountants anyway. They're probably very good at it and looking at receipts and stuff, but I don't see that as being a very interesting thing. I mean, imagine I made a video about accounting in China. I don't think anyone would watch that. Let's see. Someone asked, do Japanese visitors get treated different? You know, there's a very tense history between China and Japan, obviously, and it's something you have to be culturally sensitive to. But I do have Japanese friends, and to be honest, they get treated fairly well here, you know. It's just, unless there's some kind of sort of tensions going on at the time. They do crop up from time to time. But I'd say in general, Chinese people are actually quite hospitable and friendly, you know. Is it possible for other people to do what you did and move to China not knowing the language and culture, etc.? Yes. And in fact, I'd say that my videos really enable people to do that, because that was the problem, is there was nothing like that for me when I came here. So I had to really deal with this unknown, not knowing the language, not being able to, you know, figure out what was going on. It was really quite a thing for me. And I thought, you know what, I don't want other people to suffer what I did. Trying to finish this one because I don't like it very much. So try finish this one and get another one. How many beers before you get drunk? Depends. Just depends, you know. A lot of these I've already asked. I've already answered. What am I saying? Why do you have sideburns? That's a good question. I have sideburns because, you know, when I was young and I wanted to get into the sort of nightclubs, and because, you know, in South Africa it's 18 is when you can drink legally. So I think I was like 17 or 16 or something. I try to grow out my sideburns because it makes you look older, and I kind of had this like stupid little fluffy kind of thing, and I used to in fact, it was quite funny. Me and my friends had this thing where we'd try and do all sorts of tricks to get into nightclubs. And so like we'd shave, you know, like whatever little bits of hair we had, because, you know, when you're 16, 17, you don't really have. So we'd shave whatever, and then we'd try to like stick it with glue to where our sideburns are. I know this sounds absolutely ridiculous. And you know, we'd stick the like bits of shaven off beard onto our sideburn area to try and make us look older, and then we'd be able to like pretend we were 18 and get into the clubs. So yeah, it was actually absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, the thing is, when I could finally grow sideburns, I was like, hell yeah, I earned that, so I kept them. So yeah. Okay, what else? What originally drew you to move to China? Did you end up staying longer than you thought? Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I wasn't expecting China to be what it is. And when I first came to China, I bet you if I'd gone to a different city other than Shenzhen, I wouldn't have stayed. But I came to Shenzhen and I just saw all the young people and the vibe, and like 1 o'clock in the morning, people are outside drinking beer and having barbecue, and I was like, I gotta be there. So that's why I stayed here. Someone's asking about the club scene and the drinking age in China, and I'll get to you. Just let me finish this. Babe, see if this works. If she's available. Babe. Hey, babe. I think she's on the balcony. She can't hear me. I'll have to wait. There's still a sip left. As far as as far as the drinking age thing. Oh, hang on. I think I heard the door. Hey, babe.
Yeah?
Can you please get me another beer? Thank you. Can you get me a Asahi, please? I really like the Asahi. Give me a second. Thank you. Cool. Somebody said you never heard me address Christianity in China. Go watch. I got a whole video about religion in China. I went and filmed it at a Christian church. Come on, guys. Oh, that's so much better. Getting back to the whole drinking age thing. In China, 18 is the legal age for drinking, but it's very poorly enforced. I've seen young kids drinking beer. It's not a big deal. You could be like 5 years old and go buy beer at the shop. They don't stop you. But the strange thing is that you don't see that many people like drunk in China. It just doesn't work that way, you know? Okay, someone says, if your next round was free, what beer, wine, drink would you buy? This is Russ is asking this. I would say I would get Hakutsuru sake. It's my favorite, white crane. It's kind of cheap and cheerful, and I enjoy it, and it tastes good and never gives me a hangover. What else? Do you save money or just living the good life? I do save money. That's the beauty of China, is that cost of living is so low that you can save money no matter what. As long as you're not a fool and you're just going out and partying all the time. It's actually quite easy. Anyway, back to the whole clubbing scene and alcohol age. 18 is the age of consent when it comes to drinking. Does that make sense? And then the clubbing scene here is insane. I mean, it's amazing. I think it will blow a lot of people away, as it did me when I first got here. You have absolutely like top of the line sort of clubs where they've got like the whole wall of the club will be like a big LED screen or a big projector thing with like visualization things going on. You've got incredibly sexy dancers dancing around in the clubs. You've got just amazing stuff, people popping up. That a couple of the clubs I used to go to years ago, I don't do clubbing anymore, but you'd be sort of drinking at the bar or whatever, or dancing on the dance floor, and then they've got people that just pop up and a big spotlight comes on them, and they'll start live singing the song that's playing, and they've got like lights going all over the place. It's amazing. So the club scene in China is really quite the thing. Right. Okay, what else have we got here? People keep asking about North Korea. I've talked about that already. Chengdu versus Chongqing. Chengdu versus Chongqing? I'd say neither. Just go to Shanghai or Shenzhen or something. Okay, what else? In what language do I usually think? English. Okay. What else we got here? Have you ever been to a bamboo forest? Yes, I have. In fact, you'll see a bamboo forest coming up on ADV China. We rode through one recently. It's really cool. Someone's writing in Arabic. Sorry, mate, I don't understand that. What booze do Chinese drink? They drink baijiu mainly. It's incredibly cheap and it's incredibly potent, and you can buy it everywhere. Besides the first tier city, which city in China would you live in? Zhuhai. Definitely Zhuhai. What was the hardest part about filming the Northern China movie? Guys, we did a behind the scenes and you'll understand, but we got raided by, it was insane. I can't say it really here, but I'll give you the gist of it. But our hotel room was busted in by a SWAT team, like an actual SWAT team in body armor, and all these SWAT guys came in there, and the local police and the party heads came in, and they gave us the third degree and interrogated us and did all sorts of weird stuff and kept our Chinese driver separate, interrogated him for like hours. And then the next day we were on site filming, and the military turned up and interrogated us and searched all our things, and it was insane, you know. And that was just the beginning of it. Anyway, I can't get into it. It'll be all revealed later, but it was insane. Literally thought that we were just, you know, gonna get deported or put in jail or who knows what. Okay, what else? Besides, okay, we already spoke about that. How do I deal with Chinese New Year noise? You know, it's the same as Chinese noise all the time. It's just a noisy place. You have to be used to noise. What else? Do you like animals, dogs, cats, etc.? Yeah, I do. I like dogs. I'm a dog guy. How much do you pay for your internet? That's an interesting one. I've actually got the fastest internet that you can get in Shenzhen, which is to say it's lightning fast for local sites, but it's just as slow as like the slowest internet when it comes to international sites. It's not very expensive. I think it's 2,000 RMB for a year. That's for the whole year. And yeah, people can hear Sasha is showering. It's how small my apartment is, even though, you know, the shower's all the way there. What else we got? What else? Oh, some Greek in there as well. That's interesting. Come on, guys. I need something good. Oh, thank you very much, Tamer Shafiq. I appreciate that. He says, can we ride when I come to visit China over Thanksgiving holiday? I've ridden all my life. Now, that's a difficult one. You see, we actually did have, and if you go look, I think on ADV China, we did a traffic episode. We did about 3 episodes. We had, it's the only time we've ever had a subscriber or patron come over and ride with us. And his name's Steven, and he was a really nice guy. He is a really nice guy. And the thing is, it's difficult because I would love to go riding with everybody that wants to come over and ride with myself and Sea Milk, but the liabilities are, you know, really insane. It's just, in China you need a Chinese driver's license by law to ride a motorcycle, right? And there's all sorts of other legal issues. So with Steven, it was kind of a thing where we said, listen mate, we're going on this trip, we're willing to turn a blind eye and just say that you're coming here and that you have all your paperwork in order. We're not going to ask you about it. You know, we've got a scooter for you to use, but we're just going to pretend like everything's okay and kosher. So, you know, come on in and come along with us. And so he rode with us, and it was a great time. But you know, the thing is, there's so much at stake, because if somebody does crash and hit, the worst thing is if they hit somebody and injure somebody, then you know, we're liable for all sorts of nonsense. So you know, the thing is, we don't do rides with people anymore, even though we'd love to. You know what I mean? I mean, I really wish I could. Sea Milk and I had an idea of setting up like a tour company where we would take people around, but just the legality of it is just so difficult. Okay, let's see. Have I ever been to Burma? No, I mean Myanmar? No, not yet. Is the beer I'm drinking real? Yes, it's real. It's definitely real. Take a look. It's 100% real. Sweet. Okay. Wayne, thanks, bro. Okay. Now, instead of me just reading this nonsense, somebody did post here and asking what gear I use. I suppose you mean camera gear. I can get through that very quickly. I have a whole bunch of camera gear, but that's annoying. I have a whole bunch of camera gear, but you know, it's not actually important. I've learned that the hard way. I've spent a lot of money, you know, buying expensive cameras and things over the years, and it doesn't improve anything. What you need is you just need a good camera that works, all right? And it can be an iPhone. That's all it needs to be. It can be an iPhone. I mean, look at those videos I did during my trip. They changed my mind, you know. I did a couple of videos while I was on my trip, and I just used my iPhone to film them, and they did incredibly well. They all got like over 100,000 views, whereas I spent so much time making that like black taxi scam video where I put myself in peril and I was at the border and I was actually like, you know, filming these black taxi scammers and stuff, and they wanted to kill me and stuff, and you know, that got like 50,000 views or something. So it's not about the gear you use, and I was using my A6300 and everything. It's not about the gear, it's about the content, so don't worry about the gear. Let's see what else. Okay, let's see. Someone's asking about, they're like, oh, weird, someone's at the door.
My delivery.
Oh, it's a delivery, okay.
Yeah.
This is something cool about China. Delivery is incredibly cheap. Oh, you got some food? Cool, what did you get?
Secret.
It's a secret, okay, never mind. I got my liquid dinner over here. Okay, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh yes, first great snake, I would say a brown house snake. Okay, I've answered a bunch of these questions already. How many beers do you drink every day? On average, I don't drink every day. I drink once a week.
No.
Yeah.
Liar.
What? Maybe twice a week, maybe. Let's see. Doing another meetup, blah, blah, blah. Is it easy? Oh, come on, guys. The thing is, a lot of these questions that I'm getting asked here, they've all been answered in recent videos, etc. Will you buy an iPhone X in China? No, I refuse. If I'm going to buy an iPhone ever, so I mean, I currently have, what's that? Oh, that looks nice. Except it's shrimp and I hate shrimp. No, bugger off.
I like it.
I know you like it, just kidding. You know, if you're going to buy an expensive phone or something, you buy it in Hong Kong, you don't buy it in mainland China because they add so much tax, it's ridiculous. People keep going on Bitcoin, Bitcoin. I've already talked about Bitcoin. Come on, go back in this one. All right. How come you have a British accent when you are South African? I'm British South African. It means I grew up in a British household. You know, my mother is fully British. She has a British passport. You know, my grandfather's British. My father, although he's from German, you know, ancestry, he also is an English-speaking South African, so his accent is also fairly British. And I believe his father's from the German side, but his mother's from the British side. So, you know, I grew up around a British household. What else? Okay. How do I come up with content? Dude, it's difficult to come up with content. It's just one of those things, you know, as you go on. Okay. Wow. All right. So many questions. Come on, guys. What do Chinese people think about lettuce? That's a very silly question. They think it's expensive because it's not eaten a lot here. Are Chinese racist? Yes, they are. Very, very racist. One of the most racist people in the world. But they're very realist. That's the thing. They're very direct. They don't have a politically correct culture here, which can be quite refreshing. But it can also be quite hurtful at times because, you know, if you're gaining weight, they'll say to your face, "Oh, you're fatter than before," you know, that kind of thing. Or, you know, if you're black, they'll say, wow, you're so black. You know, and at the same time, if you're white, they'll say, wow, you're so white. And they'll also say things like, oh, look, you're darker than before, you know, if you get a tan or something like that. So they're very direct people. What else? Okay. Someone says, what do you do that annoys Sasha the most? I don't know, I can ask her. What do I do that annoys you the most?
I guess you know.
What?
But you did change
What?
the socks on the floor.
Oh, she says leaving socks on the floor. But yeah, I don't do that anymore because it annoyed her so much. How are the cell phone networks in China? Okay, I'm just going to say that. Cell phone networks in China are amazing. They are probably the first place in the world to roll out a proper LTE network. And 4G, 5G, all that stuff comes here first. Cell phones are massive in China. The infrastructure is amazing. It works so well. The only problem is that, of course, international internet traffic is blocked. But you can use your cell phone. I can't explain how good it is. I can be in the middle of a mountain in the middle of nowhere and I can still get good cell phone reception. I was actually blown away when I went to America at how bad the cell phones were there. I'd be driving outside of a big town and I'd lose signal altogether. My phone would go into roaming, you know. I think I had a T-Mobile SIM card when I was in America, but what I'm trying to say is that here in China, it doesn't matter where you are, you get cell phone coverage. It's incredible. Better than anywhere I've ever been in the world. What do I think about Hong Kong? I think Hong Kong's awesome. Not going to get into politics, but as a place, it's really cool. Where will I go after China? That's difficult to say, man. What else we got going on here? Apparently Adelaide wants to know how many whales I can fit in my apartment. None. I can fit like a tenth, maybe like a 100th of a whale in my apartment. By the way, guys, if you haven't seen it yet, go check out Raising Shanghai's video about me. It's pretty cool. What else we got here? The link, by the way, is in my previous video, so go take a look. Greetings from Japan, from Daniel. Greetings, mate. What time is it there? It's probably evening now, so konbanwa. Okay. Right, so it looks like things are just evolved into nonsense here. Again. Guys, please give me a question you really want to know. I'd love to, you know, this is an open forum. I've had a couple of beers. I'm in a mood to just kind of be open with you guys. So if you have something you'd like to ask me, by the way, Peter, thank you very much. Please let me know. Someone says, "Hey Winston, any tips for self-discovery?" That's an interesting question. When it comes to self-discovery, I think what you need is you need life to give you a really hard knock, and I mean like something that you have no control over. So, you know, I'd had a lot of bad things happen to me in South Africa, as in, you know, friends had died, been murdered and things like that. You know, those always woke me up. But I think one of the biggest knocks I ever had when it comes to self-discovery was when I was in China, and you know, I ran out of money, and I realized that nobody is really there to help you when you really need it the most. It gave me such a massive hit where I was walking around. I didn't have like a 1 RMB to my name, and I couldn't afford a bus fare. I couldn't afford anything, and you suddenly see how cold the world can be, and how cold people are, and how disinterested in you they are if you don't have anything to offer them. And this really knocked me for a six, for lack of better words. I hate sports analogies. Anyway, it really just kind of knocked me for a six, and I was like, you know, I think that was one of the biggest self-discovery things, you know, that happened to me, where I actually saw where I was and what I was worth. And it's when you let go of your dependencies, because I think a lot of us live in a bit of a bubble. We have family that can help us out, friends that can help us out, and we kind of subconsciously rely on that. So we always think, it doesn't matter what happens, I can always, you know, ask my parents for help, ask my friends for help, ask the state for help, depends where you live. But when you're faced with a situation where you have none of those fallbacks, I think that's when you really start to wake up and actually see what life's really all about and what you're capable of. So for self-discovery, obviously my best advice is to get yourself in a situation that's incredibly difficult to get out of. Does that make sense? Maybe not. All right. Let's move on. I'll answer one more question before I call it a night, guys. So let's see. Wow, so bloody many questions coming in. What else we got here? People are like, how did I run out of money? It was pretty simple. I can answer that one. I'll answer two more. I'll answer this and one more. When I came to China, like I said, I had no contacts here. I mean, I'd been here, I'd visited some factories, so I did have the contact number of some people, like salespeople that worked in factories, but I'm not about to go and like pester them. I had paid off all my debt in South Africa, so you know, I'd sold my cars, I'd sold all my furniture, I'd sold everything, I'd paid off all my debt. But I only came over here with the equivalent of about 20,000 RMB, which in US dollars, give me a second, I'll tell you how much that is worth nowadays. So I've got 20,000 rand, sorry. ZAR in USD. Let's take a look. Wow, that's not a lot. About 1,500 US dollars. Okay, that's all I had to my name. So when I came, okay, but hang on a second. The rand and the economy in South Africa has tanked like crazy in the last 10 years. So it was probably more like 4,000 US dollars. Okay, so I had about 4,000 US dollars to my name, and in about 2 months I burned through that. You know, that's just the way it goes. You know, I was staying in hotels because I was stupid. I didn't know you could rent apartments and stuff, and you know, I just burned through the money, food, accommodation, getting around. I was having the time of my life, just exploring. You know, and it just turned out that I ran out of money. You know, that's how it goes, basically. And I just had to figure my way from there. So that's how I lost all my money, was just by living, basically, and without having a job. Okay, what else? Let's see. Let's get one more. Someone says, again, do you want kids? Let Sasha answer this one. Okay.
I
So-
do,
You want kids?
of course.
You heard her. She said, of course. Yeah. It's on the cards, guys. You know, just need the right kind of situation. Okay, let me get one more question. Someone says, ask this 100 times. What type of Chinese do you speak? I speak Mandarin Chinese, you know, Putonghua, which means, Putong means ordinary or normal. So I speak normal language, Putonghua. And that is the most spoken language in the world, anywhere. And, you know, that's just the way it goes. Putonghua is Mandarin, and everywhere in China you have to speak it by law. That's what's taught in the schools. That's what all the government documents and all the government stuff is written in. You have to speak it. Cantonese is the second biggest Chinese language, which is spoken in Hong Kong and Guangdong, where I live, and also in a lot of the Chinatowns overseas, because it's usually the Cantonese people that were able to sort of go overseas. So if you go to Chinatowns, you very often come across Cantonese. But Putonghua or Mandarin is also spoken in Taiwan, and it's basically the biggest language, and it's pretty awesome. And I prefer it personally to Cantonese. I prefer the sound, although I understand they both have their different sort of pluses and minuses. Okay, what else? I just don't like the Beijing Erhua. It's not a fan. Okay, I guess that's probably it. Somebody asked, when is the next live stream? Alright, I'm going to finish off with that, guys. So you can stop the questions. The next live stream will be not very soon. Like I said, I don't want to make this a very often kind of, I don't want this to be something that happens all the time. This is something I'd like to do every once in a while as a treat. Just sit down, have a beer with you guys and just talk and hopefully answer as many questions as possible. And basically, yeah, maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months. I can't really say for sure. Depends on if you guys like it or not. And that's it. I appreciate you guys coming to, you know, chat to me on this live stream. It was awesome. It was really nice to reach out, to see so many people come and watch. This is really the first live stream that I've ever done, I think. I may have done one test one like a while ago, but this is the first real live stream I've done. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate the support. You have no idea how much I appreciate the support. You guys are freaking awesome. And I really do hope that I can offer something of use to you guys in the future. And I think it'll always be this kind of format, just me talking crap and drinking beers with you guys. And thank you. It's because of all your feedback and everything that you guys say on my videos and all that keeps me going. So I just got to say thanks, honestly. And thanks to the haters too, you know, the haters who keep telling me to leave China and stuff. It's a great motivation for me to stay and continue, because every time someone says get the hell out of China, I think, well, I'm obviously saying the right things and doing the right things, so I'll stay longer. So thank you for that extra, you know, motivation, haters. And obviously I prefer my subscribers to appreciate what I do more, but just saying thanks. All right, guys, that's it. So thanks for joining me this evening for a couple of beers. I have a few more to finish, and I shall be seeing you guys in the next video, which will be next week. Hopefully I can pull off this silver play button thing where I go to the factory. Well, I'm gonna go there either way, but hopefully it turns out well. And I'll see you next week. And I also have a big scams video coming up, because I just met some subscribers this morning and they were scammed terribly, so I have to share their experiences. And yeah, anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one, and you know the drill. Stay awesome. I'm gonna try and ask Sasha to say stay awesome too. Can you say stay awesome to everyone?
Stay awesome!
There we go. Alright, sweet. See you guys next time.